All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the scrimmage game between the Lockhart Lions and Georgetown Eastview. I believe they're Patriots, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
They're
Patriots.
Eastview Patriots out of Georgetown, Texas. I want to welcome everybody to the Lions Pride Sports broadcast as we get ready to have another season of football here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Of course, this is going to be the first scrimmage of the season for the Lions. They'll be traveling to Medina Valley next week to take on the Panthers, and that'll be a 7 o'clock varsity game or scrimmage. But we'll be there, and we'll broadcast both JV and freshmen, and then following up with the varsity game. Got here a little bit late, was able to get a little bit of the freshman and JV game. Looked pretty good out there. But right now, before we get to the varsity game, we got a couple of guests here in the broadcast booth with us. But first, let me introduce my football analyst for the past 2 seasons, Coach Amado Galvez. Welcome back to the set. Coach, how you doing?
Good morning, Sarge. Ready for some Lockhart Line football. I'm glad to have you back as the quarterback for our team, and looking forward to a great football season.
Oh, yeah. And with me as a quarterback, it's a touchdown with every pass that I throw. And we got a couple of guests here joining us in the broadcast booth from the CFPO organization. And, Coach, would you like to introduce these gentlemen?
Yes, the president and head coach is Memo Juarez.
Coach, thank you for having us. I really appreciate
And the head
it.
coach for the senior team is Dylan Vest. Awesome job by both these guys.
Glad to be here.
Glad y'all are here, gentlemen. And y'all are here to watch a little bit of the freshman and JV. Memo, first you, give us some thoughts of what you thought about this young team.
Man, you know what? I caught a glimpse at the end as well, man. And, as far as the freshman goes, it looks like, they didn't have spring football.
Right.
So, this is their spring football essentially, right? So they have a little bit of work to go. They have this transition from going from junior high to high school football. As far as the JV goes, based off of what I saw, they were doing okay. They were holding their own. You know what I mean? Against what is this, Georgetown?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
A team like Georgetown, you know what I mean? The pool of kids that you have, right? It's unbelievable. And for them to hold their own against a big school like that, I think it says a lot for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes. Dylan?
I'd say about the same thing.
Yeah.
Freshman has some work to do on both sides of the ball. JV, man, that quarterback was throwing dimes, for us. So, and the receivers were going up and getting it at the high point and get that ball. They're looking pretty solid. I hope both squads go out there and get some wins this season.
Oh, definitely. And, great show out for the freshman and JV team. As you mentioned, the quarterbacks from both sides did an excellent job for JV and freshmen. Now let's kick it on down to where these young men had played at before in their early years with the CFPO or whether it have been Pop Warner CFPO. But y'all two gentlemen have been working with the CFPO organization for several years now. And talk about, y'all's time in CFPO and then what y'all got going on this year with the teams.
Seeing these kids, Sean McKinney, Deontay Jackson, DeAndre Clay, seeing all these kids, go from being itty-bitty, tugging on your shorts. The Coach Clay did a great job with those kids.
Yes.
He did a great job with those kids. And now seeing them up here, just grown men, you know what I mean? Like, these kids they're moving like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're, running kids over, they're juking. I mean, it's amazing at the youth level, but then you come and see them and do it here, it gives you goosebumps, like right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it, man. And this is why, the most rewarding thing for me as a youth football coach is walking down the sideline and these varsity players acknowledging me. Almost 75% of these kids walking down the sideline, coach, acknowledging me. And, it may mean nothing, to them. To them, it may mean nothing. They're just being, cordial and polite. But to me, it means the world because, we've been there since day one.
Yeah.
A good compliment to you guys is y'all built a good love for the game, and that's why they keep on playing. You install that love for the game when at that younger level, and they continue going with it and keep on playing because it gets tough. Don't get the junior high and get the freshman level, and it's tough. You have 2-day practices, and you have to lift weights. And you have to work out in the summer. It was very easy to just call it quits, but these guys kept on going because they love the game.
It's not easy. These guys are gladiators.
Yes,
it's what they are, and I'm sorry, don't mean to take up too much time.
No, go ahead.
Like Jordan Haynes, Nathan Rowland. I mean, those are names that you will be hearing, here in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
And, all those kids. Those kids are the kids that I had when they were flaxers, right? and just to see him out here being part of this is just like I said, it's a great. To me, it's a gift. You know what I mean? To me, it's awesome.
Yeah, Dylan.
So I've been doing this for about 5 years, and a lot of those freshman kids, I had them when we were coaching both junior and senior age groups, from 9-year-old to 12 years old. We were coaching 2 different teams, and like Coach Memo said, you seeing these kids on the sideline, they're, hey Coach Dylan, and
Yeah.
like gives you goosebumps, and it shows you that you made some kind of impact in their life, whether it be small or big. You made some kind of impact where they remember you.
Oh yeah.
It's not a, hey, Coach Dylan. Now it's, hey, Coach Dylan.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. It's one of the things, like I said, as I didn't coach any these kids in football, but I coached a lot of the baseball players through Little League all the way on up. And I see a lot of kids that are in varsity level now. And of course, my son is one of them. I've helped coach since he was 8, 9 years old, along with all the other kids that are going up. And then to have these young men, at the varsity level, last 2, 3 years, and come up, hey, Coach, how's it going? I always looked at it and goes, there's more than one name that you could be called. But when you bring someone up and you coach somebody and you don't even coach them no more, years on down the road, and they still call you coach, that says a lot of, what you were able to do for these young men that you coached against. And one of the biggest ones that's sitting to my far left over here is the coach, Amado Galvez. He was my football coach when I played in Pop Warner, and that was, when I was 8, 9 years old, and I'm going to be 50 next week. So, and I still call him coach. That's the way I remember him by. But, of course, he's a very good friend of mine. I, consider him a part of my family. But the biggest respect that I could ever give him back is to acknowledge what he's done for me, and coach says a long thing. It says a lot, and to be called coach, or hey coach, or how are you doing, coach, after so many years after coaching these young men, it says a lot, and I could exactly, I know how y'all two feel, and seeing these guys playing in the varsity level now, it's like, man, like you said, tugging on your shirt, hey coach, can I play? Going from playing kid games to playing men games now, so.
One of the biggest honors that I ever always receive is like at the coaches conventions or coaching clinics or coaching school. I see a lot of these guys that I coach here in Lockhart that are coaching at other schools, and they always go, hey coach, come over here, I want you to meet my boss. And they always say, this was my coach back in junior high, or this was my coach back in high school. And that's a big honor to me, to meet, not only see them again, but to also meet the person that they're working for, and they're doing a great job wherever they're at.
Yes, absolutely.
So, it's great. What are some of the things that y'all got coming up with CFPO? I know y'all started practices already. When's the first game's going to be coming up in sight? Have y'all got a schedule set up? Or
So, first off, before I forget, man, I'm going to tell you something right now, man. Coach Mavis has really extended his hand this year. And anything that we need, anything that we want, we need the field, reach out, you know what I mean? If you need something, reach out. Old equipment, we're in the top, hey, all the old equipment we don't need, hey, I'll tell you what, get with me. Let's see what we're not using, and let's donate it, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Just stuff like that, it goes a long way with the organization that's nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
Like with us, nobody in our organization profits from this. We're all 100% volunteers. And, to me, like I said, help from the community. This is why we're here right now. It's to support him because we feel his support as well, right? But as far as dates go, this coming Saturday, we have our first annual cornhole tournament. And so, we're expecting, anywhere between 100 and 150 people to show up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a pretty big, it's a big deal. It's coaching, it's coaches bonding, and it also involves the community. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that we give the parents an opportunity to come and hang out with us and play cornhole and, bond a little bit, get to know each other on a personal level, right? That's this Saturday, man. And as far as we've already been practicing, I think today for all the teams, today will be the first day of full pads. So, that's always a good thing, right? And I think, what is it, Coach Dylan? September
10th is our first game for our tackle groups, and then the following weekend our flagsters go to play. All in St. Marcus behind Academy.
Yep, that's right, man. And this organization has grown a lot. You know what I mean? We went from averaging 50, 60 kids to now 110 kids. You know, and 50 anywhere between 50 and 60 cheerleaders.
Right.
I mean, that is, you know, for a youth organization in football, those are big numbers. You know what I
Especially in
mean?
a small town like Lockhart.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and just having those numbers, man, I feel like it reflects on the program, right? We've tried to build it every year. I mean, when we first started off, you see those loose practice jerseys that you're using right now?
Yes.
Those were our game jerseys, right? And so now the jerseys that these kids use are collegiate style, you know, tight, compressed jerseys. I mean, you know, top of the line, you know, everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We try to give them the best. You know, it's just, you want to give a good product is what you want to give, right?
What do our numbers look like as far as on teams?
I think
Seniors have Dylan.
Seniors have 23 kids.
Okay.
That's probably the most we've had, probably since I've been in the organization past 5 years.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
think the last time they probably had these kind of numbers was when Coach Clay coached the seniors, which is this varsity group. So it's been a good while since we've had good numbers like this.
Yeah.
At the 11, 12-year-old group.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of the numbers that are going up, you know, of course, especially after the pandemic hit, of course, 2020 was almost pretty much a down year for everybody. 21 came along, and, you know, y'all didn't have that many numbers, but 22 comes around, and the numbers jumped up big time.
they really did. I think, like you said you have, like, what, 23?
23.
23 in the 11 and 12-year-olds. The 9 and 10-year-olds, I want to say, have, like, 30. The 7 and 8 have, like, 27. And the flag team has, like, 32.
Wow.
You know, so, you know, those numbers
Talk about kids ready to get back to playing sports.
And flag does include some females also.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And, you know, and I'll tell you what, man. These numbers, like I said, I'd like to think that it's a reflection of a good product that we're delivering, right? So these kids, you know, it's more than just coaching.
Yeah.
You know, you have to remember that you see these kids 4 times out of the week, 3 times for practice and 1 time for games, and 3 hours at a time. You know, you start becoming a big part of their lives, right?
Yeah. Of course, last year, CFPO took home some hardware at at Rattler Stadium in San Marcos, Texas, and I'm pretty sure y'all look forward to adding a little bit of more hardware. And I tell y'all what, just as we did last year, you got any teams playing at the San Marcos Rattler Stadium at the end of the season, definitely let us know, and we'll be out there to broadcast that championship game once again. And it was a big turnout on as far as viewership. We had, I want to say, over 1,200 people, viewership numbers that tuned in to watch that.
You can always go back and watch it on YouTube also.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. And you guys were there front and center. And, man, I want to say I really appreciate that. You know,
we had flag. We loved it.
Oh, man, it was an exciting game. It was 8-0 against a team that had previously
smoked.
that y'all had previously lost to, and y'all came back, and man, it was big things happened during the game. A lot of turnovers, but of course Lockhart got the majority of the turnovers on defense, and there was one big hit by one young man. I forgot his name, Joshua Silva, I believe.
Yes.
Had created that last fumble, and that's where Lockhart took over and never gave the ball back to I guess it was New Braunfels,
Yes.
and was able to hold off for the 8-0 win.
Memo, go ahead and mention the head coach for that team.
The head coach for that team was Chris Martinez.
Okay, awesome,
He
Chris.
He does a great job. He delivers, like I said, I talk about delivering a good product, right?
Yeah.
He delivers a great product, man. I mean, he's firm. You know, he's been in the business for a long time as far as coaching goes, right?
And now Chris is coaching the juniors.
Yes, Chris is coaching the juniors.
He moved up with the team.
And you know, that weekend we had our flag team play on Saturday, and they walked away. That championship weekend that you're talking about, Saturday, the flag team walked away with what was the Freedom Bowl?
Yes,
The championship. It was a Freedom Bowl championship, and then the Pee-wees came back and just won the Super Bowl on Sunday. I mean, it was a great weekend altogether
for Locker Line football. Yes, it was.
It was awesome. It was really it was a sight to behold. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, as far as that Super Bowl championship team goes, you know, it's like out of a story, right? These guys go into the season and get just beat. I mean, they get mercy rule, Sarge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the score was what, like 32-0. They got beat 32-0. They stopped it in the third quarter, and they lick their wounds. They go through the rest of the season, don't lose to a single team. I don't think they gave up a single point for the rest of the season. And they go in and just obliterate every single team they play, and then they come back on the biggest stage of them all and beat the team that mercy ruled them.
Yeah, and that's amazing because those kids could have thought back at that first game and be like, man, they beat us pretty bad and they're going to do it again. But that wasn't the case. That was not the case.
No, it was not. They did not let history repeat itself. And like I said, Chris did a pretty good job. And at this age, anywhere between 5 and 12-year-olds, I don't think that people understand how important it is to make sure you have a level head and to make sure that you understand that the mental aspect of it is just as big as the physical aspect of it. If a kid says that he's going to go into this game and lose this game, he's going to lose the game because in his head he's already lost, right?
Yeah.
But when you put in a kid that, hey, you know what, that was a fluke, it's not going to happen again, and you hype this kid up, these kids will tear a wall down for you if you ask them to.
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as the senior side, how are we looking on the seniors for the senior football?
Man, we're looking pretty sharp. We're already starting to get some plays rolling, and like yesterday we had defensive practice, and we're working out some kinks. We got coaches meeting today because most of our kids are sixth graders, so they got orientation today.
Yeah.
So we're giving them the day off, and coaches are going to meet and hash out some X's and O's and make sure we get this team right for the season.
Now, do they have a scrimmage game coming up, or is it just going to be straight into the regular season?
We're trying to work on trying to get something done before September 10th.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like the weekend before or something, so we can kind of see what we got to work on that week before we start our actual games. Luckily, our first game is a non-district, so it really, whether we win or lose, it doesn't really hurt us. It's kind of essentially a scrimmage itself. But, if we can go and play New Braunfels or Seguin before September 10th, that would definitely help us kind of see where we're progressing at.
Right. Now, if anybody wanted to get some information of CFPO and football dates and schedules and all that, where can they go to, Memo?
They can go to our it's our Facebook page, which is Lockhart CFPO on Facebook, and just go like it. And, we're always – it's not just CFPO. We're always giving back to the community. I don't know if you were here for the maroon and white game on Saturday, but we told the parents, hey, parents, guys, let's go show up. Let's show support to the community. If you show up, your name will automatically be put into a hat to be drawn for a $100 HEB gift card, right?
Wow.
Always giving back. Always. That's the name of the game, right? I believe in good karma, right?
Right.
And you give back, you're going to receive. You will receive. And, we try to do as much as we can for the community, so, like I said, that deal on Lockhart CFPO on Facebook, you can find most of our information there.
Okay. Before we close out, any final thoughts before we get to the start of the scrimmage between Lockhart and Georgetown?
The only thing I have to say, Sarge, is that, man, I'll tell you what, you're doing us a service. Being out here for those people like us at work. A lot of times I know that if I'm at work and I can't make it to this, I know that I can turn to the Sarge and say, hey, you know what? For these deals that I care about, like these scrimmages,
right,
these football games, I know I can turn to the Sarge and he'll be broadcasting it, man. And it means a lot right now, but I'm sure that I hope that you do this here in the future, because I know that when my boy goes from 7th grade to up here, and if I'm working, like most of us are working parents, right?
Right.
And so if I'm working, I know that, I'd love to see my boy, be able to play. I'm there regardless of whether I'm there physically or not.
Yes.
Right? So I really appreciate everything you do.
As a parent and as a fan.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and it's amazing. I give a lot of thanks to my sidekicks, of course, the coach and Tom and TD, who couldn't be here today, Tom Dunn, that helped me out with the football, and then throughout the regular season. It's amazing to work with these gentlemen, and it's amazing for me to be out here and do what I do to give back to the community. Also, as you said, it's always good to give back, and of course the community gave a lot to me, Of course, today marks the 6-year anniversary that my daughter passed away. So, since then the community's always been there for us, and even to this day, they still give us their condolences and prayers. And it's a rough day, and but I know that my daughter loved to hear me talk over the microphone, and she loved it when she worked at Dairy Queen, and they broadcasted games over there over the intercom system, and she said those were the best nights because she would get more tips because she would tell the customers that was her father on the speaker talking. So for me to continue doing this, every show every broadcast I put on, it's always in her memory, and and for as long as I have a voice in my breath and in my heart, I'll be here calling Lockhart Lion football sports or Lockhart Lion sports for as long as I can.
That's man, there's not a better cause than that, man.
Yeah.
You know what, Coach? I remember you've come such a long way. You know what I mean? I don't know that you were in the broadcast booth before, but I know that you are now.
Yeah.
You remember all the hurdles you had to go through? I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. From listening to Chuck Licata and Randy Fry in 2013 while I was stationed in Kuwait to taking over as the voice of Lockhart Lion Sports in 2014. This is going to be my 9th season calling games for Lockhart Lion Sports. So, it's like, man, where has time gone?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I want to thank y'all for coming up and joining us, and I want to wish y'all the best of luck. And I'll keep track of the CFPO lines throughout the season. And like I said, when that Super Bowl comes around for every single level of lines, CFPO lines, you can count on us, and we'll be there to broadcast those games.
Thank you for being here, guys, and keep up the great work that you're doing. And thank you for letting me be part of your organization and letting Sarge also come in and join us. Also, we're all in this together, and we always want the best for the kids.
Oh yeah,
the kids come first.
Oh, definitely. So once again, gentlemen, thank you very much, and we're about to start the scrimmage right now. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Lions as they have their first scrimmage of the season.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
One thing about the scrimmage, Sarge, is they're going to have some crazy numbers. If you're a team that you don't want the scouts to see who your quarterback is, or if you're running back, they're going to give you crazy numbers. It's just not the numbers they're going to be using during the season. But we pretty much know, who the quarterback's going to be and who the running back's going to be. So it may change a little bit. Georgetown Eastview is a very good football team. They hired a head coach that was an offensive coordinator, Lake Travis. He's done a great job. He was at Willis, Texas, the head coach the last 2 years, and he made the playoffs both years.
Yeah.
And you could tell they're in the spread offense.
Yeah, of course, Georgetown's going to be starting off on offense while Lockhart starts off on defense. And judging by the speed of that young man, I'd probably tell you that's probably Quavon Reese that was out there making that stop.
I believe so. I believe so.
As Coach mentioned, that we don't have a roster with names and numbers on it, but of course, that's what happens during the scrimmage. Is everything's still secretive when it comes to who's positioned where. The first run and play of the game, of the scrimmage, and that's going to pick up a first down.
They have a very good receiver, and they have a very good running back. And there's a battle for the quarterback position. There's a sophomore and a junior battle now for the quarterback position. So we'll see today who gets the job.
And, of course, speaking of quarterback positions, we're going to have Ashton Dickens quarterbacking for the Lions. He's going to be a second-year starter. Of course, it started off as a sophomore quarterback for the Lions. He's going to be a junior this year. And
coming into his junior year, yes, sir.
Yeah, came up about, I want to say, almost 500 yards shy of the all-time season passing record that Coach Thompson holds, Howard Thompson, as a quarterback for the Lockhart Lions. And if this young man continues to progress the way he had in his first year at quarterback, he just might surpass that record this season.
Ooh, great catch there. I think that's the receiver I was talking about. Wow. And the safety had the angle on him, but he was just so fast, he just beat the angle.
Nice catch and run for the Patriots.
And because you're not familiar with the scrimmage, usually the team will go 15 plays, and then bring in the second team, and they'll go 12 and 12, and then from there on, from there on.
And usually, as before, they would have probably maybe one half of football, but unsure of what they're going to be doing today. But
usually they went for the second scrimmage and make it more of a game situation. Georgetown and Eastview is predict to finish fourth in their district. They're in a very, very tough district. They're in there with Cedar Park, A&M Consolidated, and College Station, and the Leander schools. Yeah. Uh-oh. I guess that quarterback is done for a while. Just don't step on that.
Almost takes you back to, what's that movie, Any Given Sunday?
Yes.
Willie Beeman throwing up on the sideline.
Interesting to see how many players for Lockhart are going both ways on this warm day.
Of course, we have Coach Mavis. He's back. I believe this is his 4th year as head coach of the Lions.
Fumble.
Had a good start to his first year as the Lions made the playoffs.
And Lockhart is picked to finish fourth in the district, ahead of Piper and Cedar Park. Of course, Liberty Hill is picked to win, and I think Liberty Hill is being picked to win it all this year.
But ain't that something? Lockhart loses Bernie Champion and Alamo Heights in the redistricting, and they go ahead and throw Liberty Hill in the mix with us. Of course, they lost in the championship game last year.
And Veterans Memorial. Veterans Memorial is the other school at Judson ISD.
But Lockhart renews an old rivalry with Bastrop and continues a rivalry with Kerrville-Tivy, who they'll play at the end of the end of the season.
Yes, we have the Bastrop Bears coming to town.
Another first down pickup for the Patriots.
I like their uniform, Sarge. I think that running back's pretty good.
And he'll pick up about 3 yards up the middle. We're going to have a young defense this year.
Yes, sir.
And what's going to be interesting on the offensive side, of course, we got Ashton Dickens at the quarterback and Sean McKinney at running back. And one big question that I'm pretty sure that people are going to be asking, who's going to fill in the shoes for Tay Andrews, who graduated last year at the wide receiver position? And, of course, we'll have a senior Deontay Jackson as one of the receivers. But Jackson was primarily defense last year for the Lions, and he'll probably be playing both ways this year. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to fill that gap in that Tay Andrews left, as he left with, I believe, over 500 yards receiving, which is the most in Lockhart Lion history for a wide receiver in a single
great
season.
Catch there. McKinney looked very good last week at the Marine and White scrimmage, Sarge. He did put on a very good show running the football. And of course, the quarterback, Ashley Dickens, looked very well also. In case you didn't catch it earlier on our picture, we had the Dickens' uncle up here talking to us, Lex Jennings. And Lex was trying to show us how to run the RPO offense, and he wanted me to take a handoff, and he wanted Sarge to snap him the ball from center, and it took me too over that, Lex.
Oh yeah. Talked about some old school football. Of course, when Lockhart played Westlake, both teams were 7-0, and Westlake came here to Lockhart to play in that game. Of course, Westlake ended up winning that one. And I believe that was the time when Ryan Nunes was playing.
I believe so.
For Westlake. Of course, he went on to play for University of Colorado before he transferred back to UT.
I guess Lex must have heard me talking about it. He was looking this way. Thanks for the interview there, Lex. Did a great job. Great job. Good. Lockhart Line, like I said, Line Pride forever. I like that. Yeah.
Nice little toss around the left side, and
I think he scored. you get a chance next week, Sarge, we need to interview some of these new coaches at the Lockhart line coaching staff. Have some real young guys and some very good experience. A lot of these guys just fresh out of college, just finished playing college football, and they're here in Lockhart to help turn the Lockhart program around.
We'll definitely have to get them on. Of course, August 15th, we will have the kickoff show at the gymnasium here in Lockhart, Texas, as Roar Fest will be taking place.
Have a special guest in the press box. Eric Lugo from the Luling football broadcast just joined us. Feel honored for him to be here. And thank you for all the kind words you said about me last week there. I said, man,
I get you didn't hear our conversation about you the other day then.
I don't have any money to pay you, Eric. I said, is he talking about me? Is he talking about somebody else? How am I said, what? Yeah, Jay filled me in on it. And I went back and watched it also.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, Eric Lugo, as Coach mentioned, the voice of Luling Eagles sports broadcast. Of course, they got a scrimmage tomorrow night against Poth. So, as the Lions are going to be taking the field offensively for the first time, and Ashton Dickens, once again, at quarterback, is going to hand off to Sean McKinney. Probably be able to get about a half a yard before he gets stopped. Of course, Eastview with 2 scores so far in their first set of 15 plays. Lockhart doing their first set. And as Coach mentioned earlier, Georgetown Eastview is a pretty good football team. They're 5A football, of course, in and out of the hands. And that's one of those things to where running before the ball is caught.
The screen was well set up there. The only thing was missing was we dropped the football.
We got 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Dickens dropping back, rolls around to his left side, steps up. And they're going to blow the
they blow the
dead.
whistle.
Yeah.
They're going to do everything they can to protect the quarterbacks in these scrimmages.
And I'm pretty sure Ashton was like, man, I had about 30 yards in front of me.
Yeah.
Is there any way we could move it 30 yards? Of course, Ashton Dickens didn't show any nerves in his first game last year at quarterback against Victoria West, as the Lions were able to come back and snatch the jaws of victory out of defeat over the Warriors, as Ashton Dickens was able to run around the right side and score the game-winning touchdown. And it was a great defensive play here in the left side of the end zone, as Ashton Hernandez intercepted a ball in the end zone that would have put the Warriors up 2 scores. But that interception gave the Lions an opportunity, and Ashton Dickens drove the Lions down the field and ended up scoring the game-winning touchdown in his first game as a varsity quarterback. Rolling to his left side. Nice throw. And it's going to be incomplete.
Under a lot of pressure there.
But a nice throw by Ashton Dickens, to throwing it to only where his receiver can catch it.
Third down.
And McKinney up the middle again. It's going to be about a 1-yard gain. It'll be 4th down and 5.
Yeah, the ball goes back.
Let's go back to 1st down and 10.
Yes. I'm sure we'll be going 15 and 15 with this first series, Sarge.
Yeah, we got a different running back. No, it's still McKinney in the backfield. I tell you what, McKinney's looked like he put on some muscle back there.
Yes, he did.
Need to be careful. Might turn into a fullback instead of a running back.
Well, they talked about using him in at the linebacker position.
Yeah. I tell you what, I always give him a little hazing about his hair because his helmet usually pops off his head about 2-3 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling him, you need to cut your hair. He says, you're like you're wearing 2 helmets out there.
Good job of Georgetown defense there, stretching it out. That defensive end stayed home.
Yeah, I believe that was Quavon Reese with the run too. But great, yeah, like Coach said, great job by Georgetown Eastview stretching that play sideline to sideline. Inside handoff to
Good
McKinney.
run. There you
Nicely, a nice cutback. And as I was mentioned earlier, we're going to have our kickoff show August 15th at 6 p.m. coming to you live from the gymnasium at the Lions Den here in Lockhart, Texas. Of course, there's going to have the Lions Roar Fest in the parking lot at 6:30 to 7:30. And at 7:45, everybody's going to be ushered inside the main gymnasium for the town pep rally, where we will be set up. And we will broadcast the town prep rally live as it takes place. Deep pass down the right side is going to be incomplete.
And we promised to have a very good lineup of guests.
Well, we already got
a
a confirmation from the superintendent of Lockhart Independent School District. Mark Estrada will be there at 7 p.m. And to start the show off with us will be Coach Mabus. He'll be on the show with us starting at 6 p.m. And we're going to have a couple of more guests still waiting on confirmations before we name those. But we're going to have a good amount of guests coming in for our kickoff show.
We're going to try to get the Booster Club members, president and vice president, to come talk to us. They do such a great job, and they're always working. It's hard to catch them because there's always working the concession stand or doing this or doing that. So we're trying to get to talk to them.
Yeah, they do a lot during the football games too, and throughout the rest of the season, working concession stands and selling merchandise.
We're also trying to get make the program a little bit more beautiful and get the cheerleaders on. I told Sarge we need to get some good-looking faces up here instead of me, instead of me just being and you. There's other good-looking people out there.
Oh yeah, of course, like they say, I only got a face for radio. There's too much ugliness up here in the broadcast booth. Man in motion. Dickens with the snap.
Oh, his knee
slips and they're going to blow the play dead.
Yeah, I think his knee went down.
Like, who watered the field?
Yeah.
Of course, we got some linemen that are coming back from last year. Of course, Tanner Castillo is one of them. Brady Stevenson, who went to a lineman camp and did some fantastic things out there and got noticed by a lot of schools. Try and pull up the information that I have on him.
Third down here for Lockhart.
Ooh, nice pass up the middle.
Great catch. Wish I knew who his name was. Give him a little compliments there, but man, that was good. And good run after the catch, too.
Of course, talking about Brady Stevenson, he's an All-American second team Select 50 as an offensive lineman for Lockhart, Texas. Offensive guard, 6'5", 290. And I call this guy the Gentle Giant. I coached this young man in baseball. First baseman, a very kind, soft-hearted and kind-hearted. And, man, I never thought he'd be the very physical type when he got on that line. And now I'm scared of him. No, but fantastic athlete and, got a lot of great talent on the front line, which is probably going to be the most experienced front line that Lockhart's had in a while.
Good catch and run there by McKinney. That's going to bring up a first down.
It looks like the first set of 15 is completed.
Okay.
Pictures or anything I can pull up for
Well, I mean, she just gave me that, but I'll send you the card that I have.
Okay.
I scanned it, and then I have that, but I don't know. I took some other pictures too, though. I'll send you those.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I had already sent them to you once, but I'll send them again.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I took some, and if I didn't, if I can't find those, I'll go take some more, and then I'll send them to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're back as Eastview gets their second chance, and
Sarge, that was Dante with the catch there. I just got a text from him who.
Deontay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I guess I better check my text here.
And Deontay Jackson, he got pulled up from his freshman year to play varsity ball, and so this is going to be his 4th year in varsity. And that's another young man that has some tremendous speed. He's probably the fastest on the team. And Georgetown with their second series. Big hit around the far side. There's going to be a loss of 2 yards. And they're going to push it back as that was 3rd down and 3, which made it 4th down. So they're going to push it back to the 25, and it'll be a fresh set of downs. 1st down and 10 for the Patriots. Of course, here in a second, we'll pop up in between series, we'll pop up the schedule for the Lions. Almost picked off right there.
And Sarge, don't forget we have a very good player coming back from Lockhart on defense. That's Mr. Ramos.
Yes, this is going to be his 3rd year as a varsity player as well. Yeah, Ramos had a big scoop and score against Victoria West last year in the season opener.
All right.
And that's going to be called a sack.
This should be the number 2s for both sides.
And one player I'm excited to see also this year is Travion Hopkins. He came on towards the end of the season last year, and he was tearing it up offensively and defensively. So Travion's going to be in his senior year as well. A screen pass to the running back. Nice blocking up front.
Wow.
Wide open room.
Good speed.
Going down the far sideline. Nobody's going to catch this young man. Great blocking by the Patriots offense. And that'll be the 3rd score for Eastview.
That guy was pretty fast. I mean, he hit that sideline and he was gone. There was no ifs and buts about that. You know, he was going to score. That's when you turn around and holler, get the kicking tee.
Yeah. But great execution on that play, that screen pass by the Patriots right there. They definitely had all the linemen up front, and were able to get out there and create their blocks, and all the running back had to do was run. So here we go. Patriots going from right to left now. An out pattern. Nice catch by the receiver. Took a big hit in the process, but held on to it. And of course, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching today's broadcast of Lockhart Lion football as they scrimmage against Georgetown Eastview Patriots here at Lions Field. Next Thursday night, we will be traveling to Medina Valley, and we will broadcast both JV freshman scrimmages. Of course, they'll be scrimmaging at the same time.
That's in Castroville, right?
Yeah, Castroville. And
second day of school.
Second day of school, and then we'll hit the varsity squad scrimmage right after that. Of course, the Medina Valley has a new football coach this year. And, of course,
defensive coordinator got the job there,
Yeah.
Mr. Coach Danny Sanchez.
And the Medina Valley's no stranger to Lockhart Lion football either. I believe they got moved down a district. If
Yes.
I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
They're in 4A Division 1 now. Roll out to the right side. It's going to be shy of the first down of about 3 yards. Yeah, it looks like we got the second stringers in there right now.
I tell you what, that backup quarterback is not very tall, but he's a very good arm. Does a good job of executing the offense. Sarge, I'd like to give a shout out to TD Thomas Dunn, who's listening, Mr. Kent Riddle, Marissa Ramirez Mendez, who said my son just scrimmaged with the JV, now he's scrimmaging with the varsity. Awesome, great job.
Oh, yeah.
John Camacho is tuning in. Anthony Tobias and Big John Castillo.
Of course, a quick message from Tom Dunn says a player to watch today is linebacker Zakiah Gathings. He's a junior linebacker. He's with his jersey rolled up. Of course, he's in the first team. And Zakiah Gathings was coming on strong towards the end of the year last year. And he'll probably be the starting linebacker for the Lions as a junior. And it's going to be exciting to see this young group, how they're going to progress throughout the season. And we left a tough district only to get into another tough district.
Didn't do us a favor.
No. But the only favor they really did is less traveling.
Yes.
I believe the furthest place we're going to have to travel to is going to be, of course, Kerrville-Tivy.
Yes.
But, you know, we've been there. I've been there so many times. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump from here to Luling to get to Kerrville-Tivy.
Tivy fight never dies.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Johnny Manziel didn't come back and play quarterback again.
Of course, Lockhart and Kerrville had an outstanding football game to open up district play last year here at Lions Field, where Kerrville was able to escape with the 50-43 win here at Lions Field.
Yeah, it went back and forth for pretty much the whole game.
It was a slobber knocker of a game, and that was to open up district play. And last year, Lockhart would go winless in district play. Oh, big.
Ooh.
Nice spin by the receiver, and that probably saved him about 2-3 lifelines right there with that spin, because that cornerback was coming in and ready to take him out. But as Coach mentioned, Lockhart's picked to finish fourth in the district this year. But preseason picks don't mean nothing until they get out there on the field. And
Exactly.
it looks like that's going to do it for the second set for the second team. And as mentioned before, here's the schedule we got up for the Lockhart Lions. Of course, August 26th is going to be a home game against San Antonio Southwest Dragons. Then we hit the road to Pflugerville Colony on September 2nd. Back home against September 19th against the Lehman Lobos.
Lobos.
Yeah. And then we head out to Davenport on September 16th.
Davenport Wolves.
Take on the Wolves. Of course, we got a couple of Lockhart alumni that are coaching for Davenport, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to them out there. September 23rd, we'll be back here at Lions Field against Cedar Creek before we head out to San Antonio Veteran Memorial in San Antonio. Then we have a home game against Liberty Hill. I think they're number 3 in the state and picked to win the district. I mean, not just the district, but the state in 5A Division 2. Then we head out to Bastrop to play the Bears on October 21st. October 28th, we'll play Piper here. And on November 4th, we'll be heading to Kerrville-Tivy to end the season. As Tivy remains in our district. Go back real quick. Of course, our new district for this year is going to be Cedar Creek, San Antonio Veterans Memorial, Liberty Hill, Bastrop, Piper, and Kerrville-Tivy.
In the first round of the playoffs, our ward district will be playing against Alamo Heights in that district over there, which is the Harlandale schools.
Yeah, they're Alamo Heights, of course, is the favorite to win that district. Bernie Champion got moved up to Division 1 in 5A. Deep pass down the far side. Having to
All
come back,
right.
makes the beautiful catch and adjustment. Great adjustment by the receiver.
This one I miss Thomas Dunn because Thomas Dunn knows who these young football players are. Right? We have a new quarterback, Thomas, and we have a new receiver out there. Let us know if you know who they are. Give us a holler.
What y'all do with TD today?
He-
I might ask.
He has to work. Some people have to work. Yeah.
Exactly. I know how that goes. I'm just happy to be on vacation. So.
All right.
And we have a helmet that rolled off the head. Or no, that was a football. I was about to say, where's Sean McKinney at? He's here on the sideline. As
Yeah,
the number
this-
twos are in right now.
Yeah, just mostly the number twos, which is great for them to get some action, some playing time. You can tell by the size of the receivers.
Nice job by the quarterback. As that snap was over to his left side, able to come back to it, and there's going to be a penalty flag in the end zone. And that's going to be pass interference on the offense is what they call.
What? You don't call pass interference on the offense in the scrimmage.
Especially in the end zone. Oh, it's going to be on the defense.
Oh, great.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy because the guy that threw the flag pointed towards the offensive side.
Got a shout out to Eddie Vasquez who's watching. Also, Ruth Mendez Caraza.
That says her nephew Nathaniel Gonzalez is playing, so they're excited to see him do his thing.
Good luck to
Yeah,
him. Yeah, awesome.
Got Rod Thompson. The name sounds familiar, Coach. Rod Thompson.
He's supposed to be working. What are you doing
What are you
watching? Thank you for tuning in, Rod. Miss you and wish you good luck over there at Mr. Ridge.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Inside handoff. Lions get inside the 5-yard line. Of course, this is their deepest threat into the Patriot territory. As Eastview's put up 3 scores so far. Lockhart Lions looking to put their first score up here in the scrimmage. We got 3 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. Another inside handoff where a quarterback fakes the handoff, throws it over to the left side, and that one's going to be almost intercepted. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and go to go for the 4. There's a quarterback in the game now is Gage Deutsch.
Okay. Doing a good job.
Well, fantastic baseball player as well also. Inside handoff to the running back, number 2, who's going to get all the way up to the 1-yard line before he's stuffed, and that's going to bring up 4th down and go to go.
I'm sure they'll go for it.
77 comes in for number 77.
Only in the scrimmage.
Yeah, only in a scrimmage, yeah.
Sergeant, Coach, y'all do still have the cannon on the roster.
All right, go ahead, Eric.
Y'all do still have the cannon on the roster, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get in there, get in
Yeah,
there.
inside handoff. Looks like that was to Travion Hopkins.
Awesome.
And nobody wants to tackle that man. Of course, he had his fair share of bulldozing over some opponents last year. So that'll put Lockhart in the end zone for the first time today.
Sergeant talked to his mom a while back, Joseph's mom, and she said she loves that nickname.
Yeah, the cannon. We also have another one, Omar Ocampo. And his older brother, Juan Ocampo, had a fantastic collegiate career at TLU as a field goal kicker. Of course, he won. He was a freshman player of the year for special teams, and
What, was he a senior last year?
yeah, he was a senior last year. And
I think that Dylan, did you play with him? Ocampo, kicker. Okay. I know he played for Herman. Oh, okay.
yeah, that's correct. He was Juan Ocampo is probably going to be kicking for UTSA, the San Antonio Roadrunners.
Oh man, that's great.
And you might want to look out for this guy, and that one's going to be intercepted, ill-advised pass, and that one's going to be brought back before it's blown dead. And mark my word, the way these NFL kickers are kicking nowadays, you'll probably see Juan Ocampo kicking on Sunday afternoon, or at least giving a tryout. Because I saw him kicking his first high school game against Reagan in Austin, and I tell you what, when he might have made one extra point throughout the whole game, and Lockhart ended up winning that game 66-33. So he had a lot of opportunities, but the one field goal attempt that he had. He hit a line drive bullet from about 35 yards out into the wind, and I don't think that ball traveled any higher than 11 feet. And, of course, the crossbar is 10 feet up off the ground, so all you need is 11 feet. And after that, he didn't miss anything. And I gave him the tag name of Mr. Automatic. And for the rest of his high school career, that's what he was, is Mr. Automatic. And in his freshman year in college at TLU, he didn't miss a single extra point or a field goal attempt.
Well, that's a good honor for him to get invited to go to the UTSA.
Yes.
You know, UTSA plays UT at I think the third game of the season, right after Alabama.
So, you know, I like the Roadrunners.
Oh yeah.
I like to see the underdog. You know, even though I'm a Longhorn fan, but
yes, they're the defending Conference USA champions. So yeah, so.
And of course, UTSA is in the same conference as Texas State, isn't that right, Eric?
No, the Texas State is in the Sun Belt Conference.
Sun Belt, okay.
Yes, and then of course UTSA is in Conference USA. I do believe they're getting ready to move to the American Athletic in the next year or two.
Man, that's a big run by Travion. Of course, took half the defense to bring him down. It's like a man-child right there. He's about 6 feet tall. I know he plays basketball as well also, and the way he plays basketball, it's like he's playing football as well. He's a force on the football field and an even bigger force on the basketball court, and just like Ashton Dickens, who played varsity basketball last year.
Ooh, that guy has some juke to him.
Nice run around the right side. Great blocking up front by the Lions offense, too.
I don't think we're going to allow TD to take off anymore, Sarge. 'Cause he's the only one that knows who's who. Without a roster, me and Sarge are lost.
Yeah. And Gage Deutsch is a sophomore also. So he'll probably be the backup quarterback for the Lions. And as a junior or as a senior, he'll probably take the starting position.
I'd like to give a shout out to Ross Alexander who's watching. Eloisa Jeffries, Richard Gonzalez, Dorothy Jennings. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thomas Mendes. Grace Key also is watching. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope you joined the broadcast.
And John Camacho chimes in, says Trayvon is a great kid. He can play any sport. And I'm pretty sure he can. You put him out in the band, and he'll probably win a couple of awards out there. You might take down a couple of trombone players, but once again, I want to remind everybody the kickoff show August 15th at 6 p.m. for the Lions Pride Sports broadcast 2022 to 2023 season will be taking place from the Lions Den at 6 p.m. and at 7:45 we'll remain live as we're going to broadcast the Town Pep Rally right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. So I want to invite everybody to the Lions Den. If you can't make it to the Lions Den, you'll be able to sit back and watch it right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. An inside handoff.
Yes, sir.
Nice little move.
Inviting everybody to wear maroon, come early, and be loud.
Always. And just as we did last year, we're going to have a ticket giveaway for the first home game.
Oh, yeah. There's a fumble there.
Fumble in the backfield. Patriots recover it. And we'll have our first giveaway next week at the Medina Valley scrimmage game. And tickets are going to be courtesy of Kent Riddle of Kent Riddle Properties and the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. And you'll be able to have an opportunity to win free tickets for that game.
Excited to have
Versus-
Kent Riddle back on our team.
Oh yeah, Kent Riddle Properties is our main sponsor for this year. Of course, the last couple of years we had Recon Athlete. I want to thank Recon and Paul Rodriguez for their support the last 2 seasons.
Paul's gone on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, oh yes. And Kent Riddle was more than happy to step in and take over as the main sponsor of the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. Of course, he's been with us for about almost 3.5 years now.
Big supporter of Lockhart
Oh,
Lion
yeah.
Athletics. Big supporter.
And has done a fantastic job for us, QA, in every sport, every broadcast that we have. He's been QA for us, sends us tons of messages, letting us know how we're doing, and make sure that all you Lockhart Lion fans and parents have the best sound and the best video to watch every broadcast right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. So,
And whenever we need something, Kent Riddle will come through
Oh,
for
yes.
us.
oh,
I
yes.
wish he'd bring us a tall drink right now, but hopefully not too far away.
Great man. And one of the biggest things that I take from Kent Riddle is about the playoffs here in football. You know, of course, they take the top 4 teams, and Kent Riddle had this one saying. He goes, "You don't got to be driving the car; you just got to be in the car, in a
Exactly.
4-passenger car, to make it to the playoffs." So, and that's one of the things that always makes me crack up when I think about that. And that's going to be a pass around the outside. Nice catch by the receiver as he saw it all the way into his hands before sliding his foot in bounds.
And Kent Riddle is listening. He said, "Thanks, Sergeant and Coach." Thank you,
Oh, yes.
Mr. Riddle. I'd like to give a shout out to Hilda Rodriguez, who's watching, and so is Sylvia Torres, and Patrick Ozuna. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, Patrick. Oh, he's a good cross country guy.
Cross country. That means something here in Lockhart, right? Not in Lockhart, but in Luling
In
also,
Luling,
right?
too.
Luling
Yeah, right.
too, yeah.
Yes.
You know, I know they made that movie about that one cross country school. You know, when are they going to make one about Lockhart and Luling? You know, I think they won more titles.
I think Coach Hippenstill and Coach Barnett could
Yes,
probably play
correct.
themselves in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Right. Well, since y'all are on that subject, we did some interviews for Luling Eagles sports broadcast last weekend, last Saturday to be specific. And one of the interviews I did was with our head coach Jose Campos. So you can go on our YouTube channel if you want to watch that. Any of you Lions Pride fans, it's going to be a Luling Eagles sports broadcast on YouTube, and you can also find it. I shared it on our Facebook and Twitter handle as well. So, and Twitter handle is @LulingEaglesSB.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of Lockhart ties to Luling and a lot of Luling ties to Lockhart. Quarterback drops back. Of course, this is a big hit at the end.
Ooh, should have blown the whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those interviews. You did a very good job. They weren't very long. They were just nice and short and sweet. You know, good. Got a lot of good information from them.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And of course, we had. I'm sure your ears were burning. We had, like you mentioned earlier, Jay, one of the new coaches there. We have, of course, that was one group that we did was all new coaches, and he happened to be one of them. Shulak, I think I got his name.
Yes,
right.
yes.
He has his last name. So, so he one of the new ones there, and he's definitely excited. And of course, he mentioned how your role in him getting there to be at
Yeah,
Luling.
I was his mentor. He chose
Right.
me to be his mentor, and I kind of guided him. But it didn't need very much guidance. He's an awesome young man. Awesome. He's going to be a great coach someday, and probably be a great head coach someday. He's just great, hard worker.
Right.
All the way from Louise, Texas.
Wow.
And of course, Tom Dunn chimes in from Good Old Boys Fishing and Outdoors. If Lockhart picked the fourth in the district, it would be highly likely they would see Alamo Heights in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, now the fourth place teams plays the number one team.
Yeah. And still waiting, Tom. When's Coach and I going to be able to become part of the Good Old Boys Fishing broadcast? Of course, Tom has some great video that he puts up on YouTube going out, catching some sharks, and, got a nice spot out there in Sargent, Texas, and has put up some great videos, fishing and hunting videos. You want to go check that out on YouTube, Good Old Boys Hunting and Fishing, or Fishing and Hunting. Fishing and Outdoors.
Wow, he missed.
Big tackle missed
Yeah.
right there. Nice run by the receiver.
Second group for Eastview is very good.
But Eric, I'm pretty sure the morale in Luling has picked up since
Oh,
last year because I know Luling was in a stretch of winless games for about, I want to say 30 games before y'all got the new coach, and it took a couple of games into the season, but Luling finally broke that streak of and finally got their victory, and not only that, but got 2 victories and made it to the playoffs last year.
yes, absolutely. You're correct, Sarge. And you go watch those videos, not only the one I mentioned with Coach Campos, but specifically the football coaches. Although I interviewed the whole staff just in 4 separate interviews, but they all pretty much expressed the same thing, how they all use that C word, which those of y'all that listen to Lions Pride probably know it too. It's called culture, and or is culture. And so, talking about how the culture's changed there, like kind of like what you're just mentioning, Sarge, and then also that, Coach Langford told me, when you interviewed him, he said that if they didn't make the playoffs, they'd consider the season a huge disappointment. So that says a lot right there, that, just how excited we are, and there's just a lot of excitement there all around, as far as looking forward to the season that's coming.
Langford does a great job.
Oh, he does.
He's exactly what Luling needed. And what I like about him, and I've told you before, we talked about it, he's very involved in the youth leagues. And he attends the games. At the game that they mentioned was that they were looking for a chain crew, and he said his coaches. He took all his coaches to watch the game. He said, "Come on, coaches, we're going to work." They did the chains.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think I remember hearing
he
about
done
that,
science.
yeah.
He was holding the down box, and he attends all the little league baseball games. He attends all the little dribblers basketball. I mean, he's like very, very, because he said, "Hey, that's my future."
Yeah.
Right.
And, of course, Lockhart and Luling had a little 7-on-7 scrimmage about a month and a half ago, and we had the opportunity to talk to Coach Langford upstairs in the press box. Nice press box, nice field also as well.
Oh, he was great to us.
And,
He threw out the red carpet for us and
yeah.
everything.
And Luling has a great future down there with Coach Langford. And I'm excited to see where Luling is going to be going from here, and especially with Coach Langford and the morale. The morale was already good. Was already great at Luling because I talked about it before. Even
Right.
with the losing streak, the fan support for the Luling Eagles was fantastic. Was off the charts because you don't see fans sticking around to the end of the game when you're down by 40 points or 30 points, and you haven't won a game in 3 years, and but the fan support had always been there. And after each and every single game, they would line up at the bottom of the fence line, and the players would come by and give high five to the parents and the fans, and it's just amazing fan support that I saw down there, and it's great to see that they were able to get not just their first victory in 30 games, but to get their second victory and get a taste of playoffs.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
Especially for the seniors that played last year, that were there for the majority of those 30 losses.
Yes.
And to be able to come out with 2 victories and go to the playoffs, those 30 losses that they were a part of probably means nothing to them anymore.
Right.
Right. They could go on saying, you know what, we broke that and we made it to the playoffs. And
Right.
that's probably the building structure to what
Exactly.
Luling's going to be having for the next few
You
years.
took the
coming
words
along.
right out of my mouth,
Yeah.
Sergeant. Build the foundation for this season and the next 2 or 3 to come. Also.
Imagine going your entire freshman year and not winning a game, entire sophomore year and not winning a game, entire junior year and not winning a game, then senior year making the playoffs. How do you think those young gentlemen feel? I mean, they feel.
Exactly.
I mean, hey, that's a great. I mean, and Coach Langford he does a great job, but he's hired a group of great assistant coaches. You have guys. The old office coordinator came from Judson, left a great program to come to Luling. Coach Robello left San Marcos to come to Luling. You have good coaches that are great at good programs coming to help the Luling Eagles.
I think what's important too, Coach Galvez, is that they're good communicators too. I've noticed that they're have great relationships with their the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just think that's really, really important because anybody can be a coach, but I think it takes a special kind of coach to be a really good communicator. I'm sure you being a coach yourself, you're well aware of that. So I really think, and I've seen that. Especially since Coach Langford's gotten there and, like you said, brought in all the assistants, they're all good communicators, and that's really, really important, I think.
And they're always together, and that's important. That they're not only coached together, but they're very good friends off the field.
Right.
Man, that last play right there was looking for a jet sweep. That was a slow developing play. as Deontay Jackson got the handoff and was immediately tackled right after that. So it'll be a loss of downs as we got the first teamers back out there on the field.
First team offense back in.
And a couple of plays earlier, Ashton Dickens had a nice little swing pass out to Sean McKinney and threw a dart out there, and McKinney was able to catch it and pick up some good yards after the play. But a couple of loss of downs and a restart after going to fourth down, and the Lions are second down and 14 right now. Man in motion, fakes the jet sweep, rolling around to his left side, and a couple of Lions miscommunication out there. As we had the tight end and Sean McKinney run into each other. And I'm pretty sure this is, with scrimmage, I'm sure the coaches got some new plays out there and, getting a little crossed up, but rather make those mistakes right here in the scrimmage than in the real game.
Shout out to Butchie Velasquez who's watching the game. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, Butch.
Fakes the inside handoff. Quick pass out to the left side. Nice spin move by the receiver. Picks up a good chunk of yardage. But it'll be well short of the first down, and the Lions will have to go back to the 25-yard line. Would it be first down and 10 as the Lions are doing their third series? Eastview has scored 3 times to the Lockhart Lions 1. Inside handoff to McKinney. Bouncing around to the outside. And it's going to be swung around. And brought down right back at the 25-yard line for no gain. Once again, great job by the Eastview Patriots defense. Patriots.
Just think of your favorite NFL team.
Yeah. Favorite NFL team without Tom Brady. Of course, we got the NFL season coming up pretty quick also. Go Cowboys. The inside handoff to Travion Hopkins, and he's going to bounce it around to the outside. And, of course, he does what he does best and runs over a couple of Patriots. Gets it all the way down to the 33-yard line.
While Lockhart travels down to Castroville next week to play a bit in scrimmage Medina Valley, Eastview is going to scrimmage Belton at home, which will be a pretty good test for them. And they open up against Westwood, Round Rock Westwoods, for their first game of the season.
Is NASCAR Rodney still calling for Westwood?
Yes, he is. He's running and lifting weights and getting in shape for to call the play-by-play for the Westwood Warriors.
I tell you what, that man, he's busier than a honeybee.
Yeah, since you guys brought him up, Rodney Rodriguez is who y'all are speaking of.
Yes.
He just you talked about him being busy, Sarge. He just did a race. I believe it was in Edna, Texas. He was got behind the wheel of a car, a race car, and got involved. And
wow.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I think that's something he had said he himself hadn't done. I don't know if it ever or very rarely. It had been a while, I think, at least, the very least. But that was a pretty neat thing to kind of see. I was following him on his social media.
I'm going to have a talk with him. Rodney's no spring chicken.
No. Was it him or his dad that used to do the short track racing?
It was his dad.
His dad. And, of course, they did a lot of that racing out here at Longhorn Speedway for those that are old enough that could remember that.
Wow.
There by South Austin, yeah. And I know for a couple of years we used to live next to them on Sunset Drive, and just about every weekend you could hear that engine revving up as they were getting ready for the races.
Great guy. Yes, Rodney does an awesome job.
Wonderful man, yes.
Okay.
Yes, if it's not football he's doing, it's racing, and, man, that's every weekend. Of course, I believe he still has that talk show also as well.
Yes, he does.
Correct, yes. It's at 11 o'clock on Saturday mornings. It's called the Revved Up ATX. It's on the 104.9 The Horn in Austin. Those of y'all that are able to get that, pick up that station. Also, it's on the Horn has an app on the App Store. Right. So both Google Play or Google, Android, and then also Apple has it. So
and besides all that, he has a real job.
Yes, correct.
The nerve of him.
I don't know how he's never there. I don't know how he's still employed. All right.
All right, so I guess we're going to see some live action.
And then there's not going to be Coach Maybus out there by himself.
No. All right, let me reset the scoreboard.
Coach Maybus mentioned talking about Coach Maybus. He got very lucky and hired some good young coaches to come join Lockhart this year. And actually has a full staff. One of the young men, call him young, he hired to coach at D-line. His dad was an old Lockhart Lion, Fritz Williams. Played for Lockhart back in the early 80s, I believe, Sarge?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got a son that came back to coach here in Lockhart. Just when he's playing college ball, I think at Colorado.
Well, actually, it's like special teams is going to be out there. I believe this is Omar Ocampo. It was a low snap. And this first punt's going to travel about 35 yards in the air before it's bobbled by the return man. This time a much better snap.
Good height. Yeah.
And that one's going to go about 40 yards. And another bobble by the return man.
Let's see how long they leave him out there.
Looks like they're trying to coach him up out there
Yeah.
about not exactly how to make the catch on fill that punt. So.
What you need to do is catch the ball.
And it looked like both those times he was ready to start running before he even had it. And this one's going to take a good bounce and roll just shy of the end zone.
Wow.
That one's going to be good for 58 yards, as that one's going to drop dead at the 2-yard line. And that one's almost blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's going to be a 15, 16 yard. And that'll do it for the punting team for the Lions.
Now Georgetown's going to be punt. Georgetown Eastview.
You know, I'm noticing, of course, last year and, of course, this year, coaches, they got drones up in the sky.
Yes. I don't know if you've ever seen the drone, but it's a great picture and great teaching tool. Most big high schools have gone to drones for practices.
You see two of them up there. I'm pretty sure one's for Lockhart, the other one's for Georgetown.
Yeah. Traveling the air zone.
Little dogfight wars up there.
The only thing about the drones is the battery doesn't last very long. You got to constantly be changing them.
Man. And that one's going to be mishandled.
It's a good thing about scrimmage is that's when you find out who your deep snapper's going to be and who your punter's going to be and who your return people are. You can practice it without having a live rush on you.
Low snap. Punter's going to be able to get that one off. And that's going to be caught by, looks like we have a return man. That's going to be Quavon Reese. Of course, another speedster for the Lions and another player that was called up in his freshman season. So this is going to be his, I believe his third year. He's a junior.
He is a junior?
Yeah, he's a junior. Well, better punt this time.
Oh.
And then out of the hands of Reese. That one's going to be about a 43-yarder.
I'm sure it's getting pretty warm out there, Sarge, at this time.
Well, it's hard to tell in here inside the AC, Coach.
Yeah, that's why our box got pretty crowded here all of a sudden.
Yeah, AC's still here, though. Y'all think I do this to watch the games? I do this for the AC. No. Best seats in the house, just as Memo said. That one's going to be a roller back to the punter.
That's good height there on that punt.
And that one's going to be Deontay Jackson fielding that one. That was about a 38-yard punt from there.
Before I forget, Sarge, I'd like to give a shout out to one of our faithful listeners, Mr. Marty Martinez. One of the best linebackers for Lockhart back in the day.
Well,
Thank you for listening, Marty, and continue listening. Hopefully we bring you a good product.
Of course, love hearing that story from him about the nacho line.
Yes. The nacho line coach is out of coaching. He ran for mayor and won.
Ain't that something? All off of the nacho line.
Yeah. I'm sure he had Rodney Rodriguez and Marty as his campaign.
Yeah. That was a runaway right there.
Thank you, Marty. Hang in there.
Well, yeah, a big fan of the broadcast.
Looks like we're going field goal.
Field goal unit. Omar Ocampo. Junior field goal kicker, I believe. And they're setting up. This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And that is good.
How far is that? Is that
30-yarder.
okay?
Same position on the field. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And that is 2 for 2 as a holder. Gage Deutsch is a holder for the backup quarterback, a holder for the field goal attempt. And once again, it's going to be a 30-yarder. This time it'll be dead center as the last two were on the left hash mark. High snap. Great job by Deutsch to bring it down.
Yes, he did. Great job.
And that one's going to go left. of the upright. So that'll be 2 for 3 for Omar. But you could tell his timing was a little bit off on that one, as that was a high snap, high and away, as Gage Deutsch had to go up and reach over his shoulder for that one. This time a much better snap, good hold and a good kick. 3 for 4 as they move over to the right hash mark. This one will be also from 30 yards out. Snap is back, hold is down, the kick is up and good. That'll make Omar 4 for 5. Ocampo doing double duty as a punter and the field goal kicker. Snap is back, hold is down, and once again it is good. 5 for 6 from 30 yards out. And they will switch.
Well, if he kept score, we probably have the lead by now.
Oh, yeah. That was 15. It'll be 21-18 right now.
So, Coach, you still planning on joining us tomorrow? In
Yes,
Luling?
sir. I'll be in the big city tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Talk
All
about the scrimmage Luling's going to have tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Just we'll be welcoming in the Post Pirates to Eagle Memorial Stadium, and the scrimmage will start at 6 o'clock in the evening. And we're not really planning on doing a broadcast. We may do some kind of testing during. We talked about doing a little bit. And by the way, those of y'all that Lions Pride fans that follow us, we got some big things coming. We got some changes we're trying to make our broadcast to improve it substantially. And so I think what we've been working on over the summer, I think folks are going to be pretty excited about it, Sarge, when they see it. So definitely looking forward to the season. And then we also have an event on Sunday called Meet the Eagles, and that's going to start at 6 on Sunday evening as well. And basically going to be introducing kind of like what y'all are doing with your Lions, your Roar Fest.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's our version of it. Going to introduce all the fall sport players, cross country, football, volleyball, and the band, the cheerleaders. So we're gonna have all those, and so we'll be out at Eagle Memorial Stadium that day as well. And so if you happen to be in the area, don't have anything else going on, want to come by, we'd love to have you. Love to have your support. So.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to be tomorrow at Eagles Field, Memorial Stadium, against Poth. Was Poth the team that y'all played in the playoffs last year?
No, that was Poteet.
Okay. Poteet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Close enough.
So.
Close enough. As the first field goal attempt for the Patriots was blocked by Quavon Reese.
And I'll be there tomorrow with Eric enjoying the scrimmage.
Yes.
Yeah, Poth is a very good team, too, so it's going to be a good test for the Eagles.
Correct. Our talking about the regular season, Sarge, our season opener is going to be at Altair, Texas versus Altair Rice Consolidated Raiders. So that promises to be a good test for us there. And then after that, we'll be coming home to for a couple of games. East Side Memorial, I think, is the first one, and then I can't remember who. I'll look it up real fast. But there will be 2 consecutive home games, and then we'll be heading back out on the road after that.
I believe Eastside is Austin School.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. It's and bowling. We'll be headed to bowling after we play Eastside Memorial. St. Joseph is actually going to be the first game of those 2, those back-to-back home games.
St. Joe's, that's
yes.
from Victoria.
So right, so it'll be the Victoria St. Joseph there, and then as Sarge mentioned, Austin Eastside Memorial. So and then after the game at bowling, we'll be heading into district play. Of course, you talked about the new district for the Lions. The Eagles have a new district as well. We did hold over the Blanco Panthers and the Llano Yellow Jackets.
The nerve of them, right?
Yes,
the nerve of them.
But we did pick up 4 teams that we're quite familiar with, just not in football. I mean, they've been in districts of ours in the past, in and out. Now they're back in. That's going to be San Antonio Coal Cougars, the Universal City Randolph Rohawks, the over by Kerrville Tivy, Ingram Tom Moore Warriors. I knew it would come to me, and then there's one other that we added as well, and that's the Marion Bulldogs. So those, if you are counting there, that's 7 teams, and so we have a 7-team district. So we'll have a bye, much like we had the last couple of years, because we had a 5-team district there. So this year it'll be a 7-team. It's just we'll be playing 6 district games instead of 4. So.
And I'll be there for the our open date.
Right, I did. I was looking. I said, "Yeah, we'll that's going to be against
It's going to be a home game.
Ingram Tom Moore. It'll be a home game, yes." So, I knew that you'd be. And actually, we did find a replacement for you for when you're not. I know most of the time you'll be committed to doing the broadcast here for Lions Pride, but we did find Logan Pettis. Now, and I'll be introducing it when we come on our air. But
good
yes,
man,
he's
good man.
He's Sarge knows him well from the days with covering wrestling.
Yes.
Or working wrestling.
Hope it
So,
doesn't.
yeah.
Hope
So-
it doesn't get you in the headlock there.
So we're gonna have a talk about that. Yeah, this is not wrestling. This is football. So
I'm sure he'll fit right in. He's a great talker on the microphone from when I seen him in the inside the wrestling ring, and I'm pretty sure he'll catch on pretty well. And good to see him joining the Luling Eagle broadcast. Well, it looks like we are going to see a little bit of some live action.
We're trying to get a Shane crew over there to.
The chain gang.
Yeah, they took off. They only got paid for the first half. Well, we're ready. We're ready to go. 1st and 10 at the 25. In case you drove by the stadium today, all the cars you saw in the parking lot were not here for the scrimmage. They were here for training at the PAC Center, little safety training all the district employees had to go through, and that's why it was having a hard time finding a parking spot.
Now, it looks like we're going to be doing a 15-minute, either half or quarter. Of course, we didn't get the specifics on how the scrimmage is going to be run today. Of course, we'll have a little bit more of that next week.
It might be a running clock.
But we'll see the Lions on offense for the first time here in this scrimmage setup. Inside handoff to McKinney, bounces it around to the outside, coming around the near side, takes a hard hit, pushes forward, picks up about 7 yards where it's going to be 2nd down and 3. And, of course, junior quarterback Ashton Dickens. Also talked about Travion Hopkins playing both football and basketball. Ashton also plays basketball, had a dunk last year. Another inside handoff as McKinney stutter steps, coming around the near side. Backs up, pushes his way backwards for a 1st down.
Ashton is a great athlete. He's not just a football player, but also a basketball player.
Oh, he attended many camps this offseason, and, of course, he's out there working, I believe, with Ross Alexander at the War Room and has done a fantastic job with a lot of the student athletes here at Lockhart High School, both male and female sports.
Coach, I coached both his uncles, Chris and Lex, and I went to school with his uncles, Lex, Henry, and Joe, and his grandfather also. All of them were great, just great athletes.
Little short pass to the outside. It's going to be incomplete. And it won't be a running clock. They'll stop the clock on incompletes and out of bounds, please. We're at 14-11. Jackson in motion. Fakes the jet sweep. It's going to be an inside handoff, and a penalty flag is going to
Left tackle moved.
False start
for us.
Looks like we had Travion Hopkins in the backfield, and he was going to get the handoff up the middle. So that's going to push him back 5 yards. That'll make it 1st down and 15. Same setup. Jackson in motion. They'll give the handoff to Travion Hopkins, and he's going to be stuffed in the backfield. He'll lose a yard. That'll make it second down at 16. I'll tell you what, Coach, they had him further back, but Hopkins was able to push forward, picks up a couple of extra yards.
Yes, sir.
Even though it's a loss of yardage, but, second down and 16 is a lot better than second down and 19. So it'll be third down and 16. Ashton drops back. It'll be a wide receiver screen to Jackson.
Good job by the defense, sir.
Defense was able to pick that up, and it'll be a loss of yardage.
Fourth down.
So it'll be 4th and 20. And we'll have the punt team out there. As Ocampo will be in to punt the ball away. You can tell it's Ocampo by his neon green shoes. What is it about kickers? They got to have neon?
Yeah, they always. There's always something strange about them. I don't know. If it's not the shoes, it's the hair or something.
It's a kicker thing. Gets that one away.
Good punt. Good
nice
roll.
end over end.
Roll.
And that one's going to be downed at the 31-yard line. That'll be a 45-yard punt. And the Patriots will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
How much time's left on, Sarge?
We got 12:31.
Okay. Is it me, but these receivers for Eastview just look fast?
They look fast. Faster than me, tell you that, though. In and out pass down the far side. It's going to be good. It'll be a 4-yard gain. Second down and 6. Well, good to see the number 2 back in the field. Of course, he he had the Willie Beeman moment, and that one's going to be picked off by Quavon Reese.
Good job.
As he jumped the pattern.
Yes, he did.
And here comes the gong moment.
Oh.
So Quavon Reese will give the ball back to the offense. Great move by Quavon as he jumped that pattern from the get-go and just baited that quarterback in there. And as soon as that quarterback was making that move forward, Quavon Reese was right there to jump all over it. We have 11:56 left to go of a 15-minute quarter. And it'll be Lockhart's ball at the 36-yard line in Patriot territory.
3 receivers on top.
Hand off to McKinney going around the left side. Spins around a tackler.
Good balance.
And it's finally brought down after picking up about 6 yards. Or it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Lions. The Lions have 2 receivers to the near side, 2 up top. McKinney offset to the right side. Dickens gets a snap, rolls around to his right side, throws a nice little pass with a great catch.
Good pass there.
Down to the 28-yard line. And that'll be shy of a first down, about half a yard. Make it 3rd down and 1. Great catch out there by number 19.
Actually, they are going to give him a first down on that, Sarge. I noticed that they were moving the chains there.
Well, there we go.
Offsides.
New set of downs. Offsides on the defense. Dickens rolling around to his right side. Another nice pass. And a great catch once again by number 19. Saw that one all the way in. Made the catch and then made sure that he was in bounds. Might have been for only 3 yards, but that's a big 3-yard play right there.
Better than losing 3.
Yes. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Dickens with the snap, drops back, throws over to the right side to McKinney, just overthrows McKinney a little bit, and McKinney's going to get clipped, but he'll be helped up. Big hit. And McKinney will come out for a play or two.
Look like he was open there, Sarge, but just missed on throw. The Ashton Dickens did.
And that's the one thing you don't need in the scrimmage, to have some injuries.
But he's up and walking under his own power. Dickens with the carry up the middle. Nice move, and he'll pick up the first down for the Lions on the quarterback keeper. All the way down to the 11-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10. Of course, Ashton's a strong runner at quarterback. Hopkins in the backfield. He'll get the handoff, turns up the middle, and bulldoze a couple of the Patriots, and will get towards the goal line.
They're signaling touchdown.
And they're going to signal touchdown as the Lions will be on the board first here in this second portion of the scrimmage. With 10:09 left to go, Lockhart put 6 up on the board on a Travion Hopkins 11-yard touchdown run.
Run up the middle.
And the Lions are going to go for 2 as they give the ball to Hopkins once again, and he'll take his way into the end zone to put 2 more on the board.
Oh, he spiked the ball.
And that'll make the score Lions 8. Actually, they're going to call it a touchdown. They called him down at the goal line. Ain't that something?
Well, see, the players were signaling touchdown, but the officials were not signaling touchdown. So I guess that the officials overruled there.
All right, so this will be a regular extra point try now. As I could have sworn I seen an umpire throw his hands up. Maybe he was frustrated or something.
Yeah,
but
he's probably scratching his head or something.
Yeah. Snap is back to hold us down. The kick is up and right through the uprights. And instead of 8-0, it is 7-0 with the extra point good. With 9:50 left to go here in the period. And the Patriots will go back on offense, starting at their own 25-yard line, where their last possession ended on a Quavon Reese interception. The Lions were able to drive down the field 32 yards later on an 11-yard touchdown run right up the middle, or a 1-yard touchdown run up the middle by Travion Hopkins. Omar Ocampo kicks the extra point to the uprights, and the score is 7-0. As we got a new quarterback in the game for the Patriots. Gets the snap, throws around to the far side, and that one's going to be incomplete, in and out of the hands of the receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Tom Dunn chimes in. Let's go Lions. A familiar face.
TD?
Yeah, TD. And quarterback keeper around the right side. He'll pick up about 4 yards.
So he will be back with you on the broadcast this year, correct?
Yes.
That's okay.
You can't have him.
That wasn't why I was asking.
Yeah, just kidding.
But Tom, great guy. Talked to him several times. Very enjoyable on that time I visit with TD.
3rd down and 6. Pass out to the receiver is going to be shy of the first down of a yard. Great tackle out there.
Pick up 4th down.
Going to make it 4th down and 1.
Although he might say, Sarge, he might say, I'm up for I'm up for negotiations.
Especially if you take him fishing.
Yeah. I know he mentioned earlier, he said it's good old boys fishing and outdoors, not good old guys. But if he takes you and I out there, Coach, it's good old guys. And the Patriots are going to be punting the ball away. And
Unfortunately for me, the only time I'm around fish is during Lent.
Me too, Coach. Me too.
that one's going to be punted away. It'll be a short punt as Quavon Reese will field it. And the Lions will come out.
This is when you find out who's in better shape.
And right now, the Lions have done a great job with the first-teamers.
We look fresh.
And here comes the second team for the Lions as Gage Deutsch will be out there taking the snap for the Lions. With 8:29 left to go. Lions are up 7-0 over the Eastview Patriots. So, actually, it's going to be Ashton Dickens back out there. Gage Deutsch is going to be out there in the wide receiver position.
Going with the first teamers still.
3 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. Dickens rolling around to the right side.
We'll blow the whistle.
They're going to blow the whistle as he was able to get away from the first defender. That'll be a loss of 2.
Like I said before, you don't want to see have any injuries during the scrimmage.
So they bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Lions. As they stay with the same set. Actually, they got 2 receivers up top. 1 to the bottom, running back split on either side. Swing pass out to Travion Hopkins, and he'll get past the original line of scrimmage and pick up 2-3 more yards, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Dickens with the snap, fakes the handoff up the middle, rolls around to the right side, splits a couple of defenders, and they're going to blow the whistle.
Yeah. You want to keep on going.
He would have kept going from there. That'll bring up 4th down and 3. And the punting team will be coming out. As Ocampo will be back. Once again, he does double duty for the Lions. The punter and the place kicker. Good snap. Takes his time, winds up, and he'll send one out. And it'll roll all the way out towards the 20-yard line. That'll be about a 36-yard punt.
How much time is left, Sarge?
We got 6:12.
Okay. Well, they got the clock. The clock's going right now, right?
Yes. They got a running clock now, 6:02. Trying to catch up right here on the scoreboard. Of course, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Kent Riddle Property scoreboard. Big thanks to Mr. Riddle. Because of the Kent Riddle Property scoreboard, you're able to follow along the game with us with every touchdown, every timeout, every kick.
And you get to follow the Sarge not only in football, but also in basketball and baseball.
Oh, yes.
In fact, Sarge thought he was calling the baseball game today.
Yeah. Eastview Paris quarterback rolls around to the left side, and he's quickly met by the defense of the Lions, and that'll be a sack for loss.
That was a big sack. I mean, poor quarterback.
There's Travion Hopkins out there. Of course, that man's out. He's everywhere. You know how they say Mr. Know-It-All? He's Mr. Do-It-All over here. Great job by Travion Hopkins. And quarterback, I could see the quarterback eyes light up as Hopkins was coming around that end.
Blow the whistle, blow the whistle. Screen. That's a good call there. Every time you get sacked, come back with a screen because there's D linemen want to get another sack.
Yeah, that screen pass worked for them earlier in the scrimmage, but not today, not this one. The Lions were able to pick up on that and hold their positions. And not only that, but great pressure up front by the defense. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 16. Quarterback drops back.
There we go again.
Looking,
man.
throw it over the middle. And that one's going to be intercepted. They're going to blow the play dead. They should have just let the man keep running, and he's running over here all by himself.
I thought it was going to be one of those trick plays because he threw it to the official. I said, official, what am I supposed to do with this?
Number 22 with the big interception.
Pretty excited pointing up here to the – I'm not sure if it was us or the people next to us, but somebody up here. Oh, okay.
That was DeAndre Clay with the interception. Of course, his dad was one of the big reasons for these young men that are out here. So the Lions will take over with 5:05 left to go. The ball's going to be marked at the 30-yard line. Dickens still at quarterback, drops back, throws over to his right side, got a receiver, and that's going to be...
He was wide open.
That was Deontay Jackson with the catch. 1st down and 10.
Mm-hmm. I think the Eastview is getting tired.
I tell you what, Eastview's no slouch of a team, and the Lockhart Lions are out here doing a fantastic job. Not just offensively, but defensively as well. They've gotten 2 turnovers here in the second portion of the scrimmage. Dickens gets the snap, throws over to his right side, got Jackson in the end zone.
Oh, good coverage.
Great coverage out there. It's going to be incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. So 2nd and 10 for the Lions. The ball is at the 17-yard line. Dickens drops back, throws over the middle.
Caught it.
Great adjustment by the receiver who makes the catch, and then will be down at the 1-yard line. That's going to be Gage Deutsch on the reception. So it'll be 1st down and goal from the 1-yard line. Inside handoff to the running back and in the end zone.
McKinney.
No, it's another running back, number 2.
Well, he's in there for a touchdown.
So that'll be another 6 for the Lions on the scoreboard, and out comes Omar Ocampo, who will kick the extra point. Lions are up 13-0. With 3:51 left to go. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And it is good. So with that, it'll be the Lions 14, Eastview 0. With 3:51 left to go here in the timed period. But so far, great job by the Lions defense coming out with 2 takeaways, both interceptions. And the Lockhart Lions offense doing their thing. Lions with 3 possessions and 2 scores.
Sarge, TD says we can start the bidding at $50 for his services.
$50.01.
And a little bit of city market.
Now that I'm pretty sure I can make happen. So.
Boy, that sounds good right now. Little city market.
Well, you coming tomorrow? Stop on in.
All right, so the Patriots are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Inside handoff, and great job up front, busting through the line of scrimmage and making the tackle. It'll be no gain on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. So 3 receivers to the near side, 1 up top. Quick throw out here towards the near side. Nice spin move by the receiver to get away from the first defender. Nice move to get away from the first defender. Picks up about 5 yards before he's finally brought down and tackled. It'll be 3rd down and 5. And it looks like once again we got the second team defense out there, Coach.
Looks that way.
Inside handoff, the running back will lose his footing.
Yeah, it's 4th down now.
And he'll lose a yard. That'll make it 4th down and 6. And once again, the Lockhart Lions defense.
I was
doing a great job.
Surprised by Eastview's plan of attack there. Looks like they're just trying to go home. Not get the ball downfield at all very much.
They moved the ball well during the scrimmage portion, the 15-15 and 10-10 series.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do nothing here in the time period.
In the game situation.
That ball's going to be punted away, and it'll be caught by Jackson right around the 42-yard line where the Lions are going to take over. That'll be a 28-yard punt. And we will have 2 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. And I'm pretty sure the Lions just might hold on to this one. Hey, it looks like we won the bidding war there, Eric. Tom Dunn said sold to Lions Price Sports Broadcast for 1 tumbler. I have a shout out from Grace Kelly. Says, way to go, Bart, number 2.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Memo, and best of luck throughout the season. And we'll see you on the championship games there at San Marcos Stadium.
Let's see what backup quarterback in for Lockhart.
Gage Joyce with McKinney in the backfield. Inside handoff to McKinney. McKinney bounces away from a defender.
Boy, McKinney just keeps getting stronger, doesn't he?
He sure does, and he picks up about 12 yards and a first down for the Lions. They're going to give him 13 yards on that play.
You saw that McKinney was voted one of the top running backs in the area here by the Austin American Statesman.
Oh, yes.
And the way he looks today, he's on track to having another great season.
And that's one thing Lockhart's always had. They've always had some great running backs throughout the years. And it's great to see with what Coach Mavis has brought to Lockhart with the offensive game in the passing department, as we get to see a great passer like Ashton Dickens in the game now with us. As Travion Hopkins, the bruiser, he'll pick up about 4 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Well, watching McKinney's dad play, his dad was just a great football player also.
Oh, a great baseball player as well. And Deutsch in the backfield, the quarterback, 3 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. Hands it off to number 2, going around the left side. And he'll lose about a yard. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
45 seconds and counting. Probably have time for one more play, and that'd be it.
Yeah, why not just throw a deep ball down the side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gage Deutsch got a fantastic arm from third base to first base. Let's see it on the football field. Fakes the handoff, throws over here to the near side. Great job to get it away.
20 seconds. Good time for a good old trick play, right, Sarge?
Oh, yes. The annexation of Puerto Rico. Let's bring it on.
They're actually going to punt.
It'll be 4th down at 6. Of course, Gage Deutsch just a young quarterback in the game. He's going to be a sophomore this year. Started on the varsity team as a freshman, excuse me. Going to be a high snap. Gets the punt away. And that one's going to be fair caught. Dropped at the 6-yard line. Or at the 11-yard line.
Look at the stands, Sarge. We had a lot of true fans who just stayed through the whole scrimmage, and there's still quite a few people in the stands, even considering the heat out there. And so does Eastview. They have a good turnout over there across the stadium there.
Of course, everybody's fighting for their shade out there because we got several tents out here. I'm just glad they didn't sit up higher and block our view.
Yes. I'm sure the barbecue places would be busy after the scrimmage.
Oh, yeah. With about 20 seconds left to go, we'll probably see a player or two from Eastview. As the ball's going to be marked at their own 11-yard line. And once again, fantastic job offensively and defensively for the Lions.
Really picked it up the second half. When they went to the game situation, they really stepped up, both offense and defense. Very impressed.
Quick throw out to the near side. Receiver's going to run out of bounds after he picks up about 5 yards.
15 seconds left.
Going to be 2nd down at 5. Dropping back, throws over the middle, got a receiver wide open, just couldn't get it to him. And I tell you what, Coach, if that ball was right on the money, number 7 would still be running.
Yes, sir. They picked the fastest guy on the field to throw it to.
He'd have been running to one of the barbecue places, the Christ Market. So let's go there now.
He probably outrun us.
3rd down and 5, 11.8 seconds left to go. Ball is snapped, thrown out to the right side. Receiver's wide open, and he'll step out of bounds with about 7 seconds left. That'll be shy of a 1st down, or they're going to give him a 1st down. Why not?
7 seconds left.
Dropping back. And that one's going to be intercepted by Gage Deutsch. And that'll be the 3rd turnover for the Lions defense. Yes. And here he comes. Let's go ahead and get this camera right there on the gong. The turnover gong as the sophomore takes his first whack at it.
Great scrimmage for the Lockhart Lions. Good job of starting out the season on a winning note. Even though it is a scrimmage, but you get a win, you'll take it.
Yes, and I tell you what, we saw a lot in this first scrimmage, and usually you don't see this kind of performance in the first scrimmage. You usually see in the second scrimmage, but I see a lot of potential for this Lockhart Lions defense and the offense as well. Both young on both sides of the ball. But I tell you what, we got a lot of power on the offensive side and a lot of speed and a lot of hurting coming in on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Well, like they say, they're young and hungry.
and we'll see how hungry they are as we're a couple of weeks away from the start of the season, as the Dragons from San Antonio Southwest will be coming to the Lions Field. But next week we'll be heading out to Castroville, as the Lions will be taking on the Medina Valley Panthers in their second and final scrimmage of the season, of the preseason, before we head off to the regular season. And Lions Pride Sports broadcast will be there to broadcast both the freshman and JV scrimmage, as well as the varsity scrimmage after that. I believe the freshman and JV will start at 5:30, and the varsity will start at 7 p.m. So stay tuned and on more information, and we'll be there to broadcast all three of those scrimmages for you right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. But before we take off, any final thoughts, Coach, of what you saw here today?
Like I said, I was very impressed with them being the first scrimmage. In Eastview is a very good football team. But Lockhart, the second half, they really showed up to play, and they were very impressive, both offense and defense, and really just toughed it out because it was very warm out there, and their conditioning really showed that they're ready to play football this year.
Oh, yeah, it's a great job on both sides. I want to thank Eric for joining us. I want to thank Memo, who came in, as well as Dylan, who's still in the broadcast booth with us. I want to thank y'all gentlemen for coming in and wish y'all the best of luck upcoming in the CFPO season. And as I mentioned, hopefully we'll have every division in the Super Bowl at the end of this year at Rattler Stadium, and you'll be able to catch any of the Super Bowl games right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. But that's going to do it for us here today at Lions Field. Once again, the Lions come out victorious in their first scrimmage, 14-0 over the Eastview Patriots of Georgetown. A lot of promise showing. First scrimmage. I really enjoyed what I saw out there, Coach, and look forward to seeing the rest of what we got to come for the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and listening to the broadcast. Hopefully we did a good job, and if we did, give us a holler. You know, if you have anything we need to improve on, let us know, and you'll join us again on Thursday.
Oh, yes, definitely, and that's going to do it for us right here on the Lions Pride Sports broadcast. And like I always say, you can take the line out of Lockhart, but you can never take the heart out of Lockhart. Go